I wanted to be honest today about what really goes on when kids end up in the system and what's really being said at meetings that foster parents go to become foster parents, and what kinship legal guardians here in New Jersey for a child welfare system, what's really being said about these kids. Time for a truth and a tell-all. Number one, if you're a bio parent and you've had a teenage child or an older child removed from you, I'm going to tell you literally what my foster parent, Gloria, used to tell me and my sister. She literally told me, my sister, and this isn't just her, also this happened at KLG meetings when they become licensed to be, foster parents. KLGs or whatever. The people talk about, they tell older kids to their face, they tell them, oh, you're an older kid, no one will ever want you, people only want babies. I'm sorry, but my KLG was straight up honest with what people told her when she was getting licensed to get me and my sister. She told us, people like, oh, why not go for a baby? Why not go for a 4-year-old? And this is what nobody wants you to know. People don't want you to know what's really being said about your kids. Some of it to their face. Okay? I'm not gonna hold back on this anymore. I feel sorry if you are an older child and you are sitting in the system and putting up with this and being told this. You have the right to curse your foster parent, guardian, whatever, out. And this is coming from someone who survived the foster care system, okay? It's time for us to speak, to be heard. It's time for us to voice our opinion. I feel sorry for the children and the bio parents. I feel sorry if your kids were removed for something minor, like also, if you've got a special needs kid and that kid is extremely violent, there's a risk of them trying to put your child in a state mental hospital. They actually attempted to do that with my 3-year-old little brother. Yes, my mom had to fight in court to keep her 3-year-old from being administered into Trenton Psych Ward. Literally. He was 3 years old. A 3-year-old with seizure disorder, no less. Yes. I said 3-year-old with a seizure disorder. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the foster parents like to shop at thrift shops and stuff. But then the interesting thing is my foster mom, when she had a 4-year-old, mind you, when she was given a 4-year-old little boy and she didn't want him in her home anymore, do you know that she took that 4-year-old to the mall to go get his clothes? But she had me and my 10-year-old sister, she took us to a thrift shop. Now you know damn well the Asbury Park DYFS office, 630 Bangs Ave. I don't even gotta go there. I'm gonna speak out on a lot of stuff. Also, the fact that I've heard of stories of when the people that transport the kids for visits come to get kids. I've heard of children that are not even a year old being put in booster seats. I've heard of all types of horror stories, honey. Please, make sure your child is in the right, correct car seat for their age, weight, and height. You as the bio parent, I don't care if you sacrifice giving your own seat to DYFS or whatever child welfare organization is in your state. Make sure your child is in the properly fitted seat for her age, weight, and height. When they went to collect me and my little brothers, I had to tell them that one of my little brothers wasn't properly fastened. He was tilted. The car seat was tilted, and it was a booster seat, and I'm like, there's something wrong with that seat. And the worker was just like, oh, leave it. And I'm just like, that's not cool. That's seriously not cool. Also, yeah, being a foster care survivor, They do a half-ass job of the background checks. Their references are people who don't even live with the people becoming licensed. So it's someone that goes to work that only sees the person for a certain number of hours, that doesn't know what the person is really like behind the scenes, behind their own home. If you are a DYFS CPS worker, please start doing pop-ups on the foster parents checking the home, or stand outside of that door for maybe 15 minutes or whatever of the home, and you will hear some shit. You will hear some shit. You would have heard the way my foster mom used to accuse me of causing my nosebleeds, which is a bleeding condition that I had. See, this wasn't in my medical record because I'd only been to the ER one time. Neo? Okay. Really, please, if your child has a medical condition and they're trying to put your child in a non-medical fragile home, please be a parent that speaks for your child. Or even if you're an old enough child and you can speak and you know your history, let them know, and let them know that you're not in the right home. I had a bleeding condition. I'd always had heart arrhythmia issues and heart palpitations, and they did not have me in a ship home. They had me in a regular home. Another thing I want to tell you that me and my sister's foster mom did is she turns around and tells us, oh, your parents did, this drug or this drinking or this alcohol when they carried you. She rubbed it in our faces in a very mean and rude way. She literally called us drug babies, crack babies, whatever. Shit that as a foster parent you're not supposed to fucking do. You're not supposed to do it. So, there's so much that is done behind the scenes that DYFS here in New Jersey, that CPS across America and all 50 freaking states, what these people say to these kids when those workers walk out the door. The workers are really doing a really bad job of the people that you license. It's just horrible, the things that are said. Some kids are cursed out horribly in the system. And when you try to tell the workers what's going on in the home, they want to ignore it and say you're making it up and all that other shit. If you're a foster child and you are in a home that is bad, all I can do is tell you, get out by any means. Some kids are killed in the system. My sister told me that my foster mom's her boyfriend, this before they got married, dragged 4-year-old little boy, we're just going to call him D, we're not going to call him by his real name, pulled 4-year-old D up the stairs by his coat. We're talking a 60-pound 4-year-old, while this child was screaming and crying after his worker dropped him off to my foster mom's home. I was in the bed because I had a cold, so I wasn't downstairs. So I guess my foster mom thought, okay, the teenager's upstairs, she's bedridden, I can do what I want. She didn't realize that my 10-year-old sister saw everything. Yeah, I know. Nyree might see this. 4-year-old D, I do hope you made it back to your parents, because the only thing I saw was that little boy had a speech delay, and his shoes were too small. Those are the only two things that I really saw. But other than that boy was definitely fed, and I didn't see a means for removal other than he needed speech. Other than that, there was no means for removal of that little boy from his home. He should have been allowed to stay with his bio mother, because he was put through a lot. My foster mom did get rid of him. It wasn't cool. It wasn't like, and me and my sister to this day, we still don't know what happened when we went to go get our hair done. All we know is our foster mom was furious We know of the allegations and what was said. We remember we were being questioned during the CPS investigation, whether my foster mom put her hands on that little boy in a violent manner. We don't know what happened. We know she was very upset because he threw a tantrum with her grandchild's mother. So that's all we know. I wish I could have helped more with that situation. I really wish maybe one of us could have gone home or rotated, one of us keeping an eye on our foster mom and her temper towards the 4-year-old. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. By the way, do not become a parent unless you have the means to really take care of your kids, because another thing that is done is they will know if a man has multiple complaints of feeling on female children, and they'll ignore it and put more children in harm's way. Yeah. That's actually what happened to me. They put me and my sister in one home over the summer for like 2 weeks, where a guy had multiple complaints of molesting female children. And when the person made their move on me, I told him that I would cut off his genitals, and I meant it with every bone in my body. My mom didn't raise a fool. So if you're a female foster child and you've seen this video, you got to be strong. And I'm going to say that parents, you really need to put down the drugs, drinking, whatever, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen to your child when they're in the foster system. You don't know if your kid's going to make it out alive out of the foster system. That's the truth. I hate to say it. Some kids don't make it out alive. There's some kids that are killed in the system. I've read the stories. I've watched the documentaries. There are movies on some cases. I just want it to be real. Honestly, you need to make your child the main thing in your life. But if you can't, please do look for an adoption agency when they're a baby. An older kid goes through hell in the foster system. It's better to look for a private agency for an adoption. If you know you've got drug addiction problem and you're a bio parent, please put that child first. I really wish, me and my siblings, we wish that our mother had done this from the jump, but please do. Please do what's right for your child. Don't let your child suffer the hell that really goes on behind closed doors of these foster homes. Thank you. Just wanted to raise awareness. Bye.